to Everyone Racers.
A show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemmy Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussion,
Tips, tricks,
as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
whether it's on the spot.
hella sweet,
Or we're lucky enough in Chrissy.
Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
And learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
This is Tim.
And I'm mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to a Duesenberg 393 episode, specifically the 1930 Duesenberg S.J. Murphytown and Country Chassis 2422J 393, intended to compete with the most luxurious and powerful cars in the world. The J Series was introduced in 1928 and offered for the next 10 years. In an era when a family car cost $500 and made 40 horsepower, the supercharged Duesenberg SJ made 320 horsepower and had a top speed of around 130 miles an hour and could do 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, despite weighing 5,500 pounds. Unfortunately, the introduction was a year before the stock market crash, and the company would go bankrupt in 1938. The 393 chassis was a luxury town and country model and currently available from the Black Hawk collection. If you have to ask that much, you probably can't afford it.
That is my hood right there, Black Hawk Collection. That is literally where I worked for 20 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Black Hawk
You
Country
weren't-
Club. The
You weren't
whole
driving
neighborhood.
doozies around.
We don't know
No.
that. He could have.
Oh,
Tim had a
I was-
past.
every day was a doozy, though.
Okay. What are you working on? Chris has been working on things.
I have. I've been working out in the 98 degree with 60% humidity temperatures that we're
The
having.
humidity, I will give you sympathy on.
Right.
The 98 degrees. But
No, well, 98
No.
degrees with that humidity becomes a rough
Miserable.
time.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like the face of the sun. It's just it's miserable.
more like boiling water. Like
Yeah.
I live
Yeah.
near the face of the sun.
Okay, fine. Boiling
Yes.
water is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
when
like
you
being,
like
it's like being the lid.
it takes your breath away. Like I stuck my head out to see if we got a package, and it's
Ugh.
dead air.
Ugh.
There's
Yeah.
no wind. It's just
It's terrible.
gross.
Like
So
here, it's been 95 and it's been lovely. Like I walk to go get my lunch, just because it's pretty. And
well, a
but-
dry 95 is very, very
Exactly.
different.
And I'm only miserable when I'm not moving in the car. Like as long as I'm even moving on like 20 miles an hour, it's great. But stop moving.
I've
I'm not
resorted
even-
to getting up early and working on the car in the morning before I do anything.
Gets up
because,
shortly after I wake up and then goes to work in the garage.
Yeah, because
Smart.
it's more pleasant, and then I can open the garage doors and cool the garage off because it's still warm, so that it'll still be a little on the cooler than outside by the time I get home. And then like we don't pull the NSX in when we get home because that'll just heat the garage up. So we leave that out while working and stuff. So it's been brutal.
It's been terrible.
I love that the measure of getting up early is a little after Chrissy.
Yeah.
Well, the one day I woke him up and he was like, meh, and then got up 45 minutes later. So there's that.
true.
But I
Yeah.
tried.
Anything earlier than when Chrissy wakes up is yesterday.
Right.
You're not wrong.
Pretty much.
That's about what's happening here. Yeah, there's aspirations. Some days I was like, I would love to get up and work out before work. And then I'm like, but then I have to go to bed like an hour ago. So that's not ideal.
Nope.
Anyway, you were working
So,
on
yeah,
stuff.
I've been working on the Mazda a lot. As of right now, it is actually officially 100% done for VIR finally.
Yay!
But because we talked last week about extra things that had been damaged by the overheating brakes, I had to do more. So I've had both calipers apart and resealed the calipers and painted them while I had them apart. All new brake fluid everywhere. Installed some 2-inch brake ducting to both front brakes, which it's not really going to the best spot, but it's really hard to brake duct a front wheel drive car because there's so much going on up there. So I got some hose that points in the general direction of between the caliper and the axle and the rotor and in that area. So it's better than nothing. I had to we had to go to the junkyard and get new, or not used plugs for the ABS sensors because the old ones had melted. They draped themselves over the sensor because they had melted so badly. So I cut those old ones apart, keeping the wiring intact, cut some new some plugs off junkyard cars and depinned all of them and repinned the original ones into used plugs.
Is it because they don't make them anymore, or are they just prohibitively expensive?
You can't get that part, but from the junkyard, it is that kind of part, that size and quantity is included in the $2 entry fee. So,
And we're like, do we need anything else? Oh, Chris literally only brought snips. That's it. Nothing else. Had a pair of snips. So we were like, well, we can't really get anything else. If they had like an amazing door that we need, not an option.
No,
snips in cargo pants.
That's exactly what he had.
I saw a meme of that, like, me walking out of the junkyard with $30 worth of bulbs and fuses in my pocket. But and you guys went to the local, you pull it here.
Yeah.
And like, I like them. They're always very nice. And the times that I've done that, I've walked out and they're like, you get anything. And I will stop at the register, reach into my pocket and hold out a handful of like just specific bolts or something weird. And the guy just looks at me and is like, and just points to the exit. Like, I'm not ringing that up. Thank you. Get the hell out of here.
You're also not necessarily the target market to check your pockets. So if I'm going to generalize unfairly, we didn't even stop at the desk. We just walked right out the door.
Yeah. The old guy's not stealing nothing.
Yeah.
Are you calling Chris the old guy?
No,
you called me.
Oh.
I'm not the
Well,
Yep.
neither are we. That's okay. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, I actually I repinned one of the front ABS sensors backwards, so I had an ABS code that wouldn't go away, and the car uses the wheel speed sensors for vehicle speed. So I then had to dig out some ancient software I have on Chrissy's computer that I haven't used in years, and dive into the Mazda ABS computer trouble codes to find what the problem was, and it was left front sensor. I looked at it. Sure enough, it was backwards. So swap those pins. All is well. Put the window net in, which I still do not like window nets, but it's in now. It's pretty good. It'll go in the trash immediately after this race. Thank you.
Did you get the thick one or the mesh one?
It's the strips.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
They make the mesh ones for people that hate them.
Yeah, I still hate those too, but whatever. At least I have the good kind of latch and link release instead of the like 1980s General Motors seatbelt that like you cannot find that little button if you are on fire and in thick smoke.
That we're gonna have to practice.
Never gonna find that. At least it's like got a handle. Like you could, it's a thing.
Thursday night we're gonna have to practice that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that car is ready to go completely, and just needs to swap out with the MG and the trailer and load up the rest of it, which we're probably going to do tomorrow morning. Thursday morning.
No, not
both of them.
Tomorrow.
So, yeah. Anyway, ready to go.
Yay.
Mental, what have you been up to?
I mentioned last week the woes of the dead F-250, and I am going to give a massive shout out to Tom Webb and the entire clan of Hangar 13 Racing. So you guys saw the giant wheel, and Tom found an organization called Hunting with Heroes, and they take veterans out for long hunting weekends, sort of a like Ranger Road and all those guys. It's a form of therapy, gets them back, gets them out of the shell, gets them out, gets them active. And to get the big wheel that Tom, it was either going to be them or a school. And the school was all about it because they wanted to use it for a fundraiser. It was an economically challenged school, and the principal looked at it and said, "No way for liability reasons, guys." And they're going to use it for their fundraiser, which honestly makes the entire ordeal worthwhile. That was just fantastic to hear. And I drove up there to get all the gear that I left in the truck from the race weekend and come back. And I took them out to dinner. They took me to Colorado Pizza, which apparently is a style. It was good.
Oh.
And then I got a text from Tom. He found somebody that wants the truck. Guy's got a 5.4 and nowhere to put it and knows it's not like Tom misled them, but so yeah, truck is sold.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Right. I mean, he's obviously a mechanical genius, but apparently he's a networking and sales genius as well.
Ah.
So
Who knew?
yeah,
Good on you, Tommy. Well done.
seriously,
So-
I'm happy.
Now, I know you didn't drive to Denver and back in your 912 because
No.
because
Yes.
I know that.
Because I don't
Because
hate
there's no
myself.
story. Because there's no story.
All that, and where would I put everything? I had an F-250 full of gear. It's not all going to fit.
You clearly had a rental car, which means we need to play.
Unless you didn't.
No, we're not playing Guess the Rental.
No, I did. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Guess the rental. I will give you guys it was not an exciting choice. So I went perfectly logical and reasonable on this one.
Did you get to pick, or did you just pick a category and they gave you something?
I picked a category, and then when I went to physically get the car, they said, "We're out of those. Go up one."
Okay.
And I picked from that choice.
I think you. All right. Did it have a hatch or a trunk?
Hatch.
Anybody else questions? I've got extras, but
Country of origin.
of the brand. Of the brand.
Yes. It's a perfect freeze moment.
Of the brand.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
What was it?
Because I think you guys will get it after I say this.
You gigablasted.
It's Japanese. Sorry.
All right. So
Japanese.
well,
I think you guys will get it after I give you that.
you said it's a Japanese hatch of some kind. Okay, so that doesn't narrow it down that much. You said it was boring, but was it a decent, competent car? Or was it garbage?
No, it was. If I was the type that wanted a reasonable, competent car, this would probably be at the top of the list. Little disappointed in the robot drive mode, but the radar cruise control was fantastic.
I'm going to say RAV4.
Nailed it.
Okay.
Well done, Chris.
Good stereo, easy interface CarPlay, outstanding climate controls. Not tiring. I power napped on the way back, and
Hopefully not while driving.
No. I pulled
Okay,
over
good.
and
He said the lane centering wasn't that good. So
through Colorado, it'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But I pulled over about halfway through and texted Vicky, and then actually woke up 5 hours later, rested. Completely different experience than napping in the Porsche.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Who would have thought?
So
Napping
Oh,
in the Porsche.
The more you do. Now you know. Do.
So if and we've told people this before, you're the gearhead in the office. If you're listening to this show, you're the gearhead in the office. That's just reality, unless you work with Cheese Bolt Enterprises. So people are going to come to you and be like, "What kind of car should I get?" And if they want a mid-sized SUV, just RAV4. Don't even. There's no other options. Just get the RAV4. They'll be happy, and it will
CX-5
last forever.
Or CRV. Those are the three I said. Go try those three. Pick which one you like best. You won't go wrong.
I would, if I had the choice, I like the Mazda better because I just when we had the Loner. I do enjoy the Mazda SUVs. I think they drive a little more sporty.
They do. Agreed.
But I got 32 miles going through that, and just the car it's just good. It's a CVT transmission, but it's not painfully bad. Yeah. So if if your non-car friends ask you what kind of SUV, just RAV4.
Cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. We didn't talk about selling some cars. So
You posted. Now we got a lot.
yeah,
No one
yeah.
commented, but everyone liked the post.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we sold some cars. We sold Chris's Honda Civic that we drove at New Jersey last year. Sold that to a friend, and they're super excited about it. So we went out to dinner with them.
Chris slapped the roof and said, "You can miss so many brake pads right in here."
But they'll take very good care of it. So, the funny thing is, these gentlemen are the people that bought our truck, the Suburban. And
nice.
so as we were pulling into our garage, the owner of the garage said, "Oh, I thought I saw your truck and I was surprised that you were here." And I was like, funny, because that is what used to be our truck. Now, no longer our truck. Now somebody else who's buying another car.
I never
bought, so.
expected to see it parked in front of my house again when it left a couple of years ago. But here
We
it
could
is.
hear it. We were sitting on the porch and we could hear it coming up the street, as you can when you come up our street. And we're like, "Oh, we recognize that sound." Yeah. So fun to see it.
Nobody buys just one car from Chris and Chrissy.
Sometimes. So we sold some cars, and then we sold the Porsche to Tim's family. They're very excited about it.
Rafi Ward was interested in that. He's going to be a little disappointed, but
Sorry, Rafi.
Already gone. Didn't even make it to the market. It actually it went a little faster than we planned, but Tim had a buyer and we couldn't say no. So I went to a tag place. It was abandoned, gone, no longer there. Saturday afternoon, a little hard to find a tag place, but we made it happen. And then we went out on the boat yesterday. So went to the junkyard in between there. Pretty productive weekend. I did not sit in the sauna with Chris and work on cars. And then, of course, there's a lot of prep time for the race coming up, so which we'll talk about in a little while. Tim, talk.
For the people that don't know how much of a pain in the butt it is to sell and buy a vehicle in Pennsylvania, like both parties have to be there in person. Like that is just dumb.
And you have to find time
dumb.
that you can do that, because not all, you can go to like a single tag place, or there's the state tag. Are they state run? I don't know if they're not.
No,
they're not
there's
state run.
only the state has farmed this out to private enterprises to do this, which that is the one advantage of it. Other states, you hear stories of, I waited in line at the RMV for 17 hours. I've never waited for more than 15 minutes in one of these places.
But you have to go at a time when they're open. Like with Saturday afternoon, literally close it at like noon if they're open at all on the weekends. None of them are open Sundays. So you miss out on, well, I could take the car, but I can't actually sell it, or you have to find time when everybody's available. Yes, totally.
So weird. So weird to me. So weird.
Oh well.
Okay.
But
what are you doing?
I am getting ready to go racing. I'm so excited. It's race week. So doing my version of Lucky Dog prep, which isn't nearly as much as Chris and Chrissy. I am getting, I've got the number panels printed.
Yes. That was your one job. You did it.
You had one thing to do.
Yeah, that's it.
So I had 5 of those made at Staples in case we have an issue with anything falling off or disintegrating. So we'll get those applied appropriately. Got all my gear done and cleaned. And then I was like, oh, damn it. I didn't think about the airplane portion of this. So I have a specific duffel bag, like a rolly duffel bag, that my race gear fits in perfectly. And guess what I didn't pack with me when I traveled to California from California? Yeah. All my stuff was in a nice bin, which is really convenient, except when you have to get on an airplane. Yeah.
Ew.
So I have a new duffel bag getting here tomorrow on Amazon that I'm hoping should fit perfectly. If not, I'll be going to Dick's Sporting Goods,
or wearing your helmet or race gear on the plane, right? The Mental's done that. Nobody wants to do that though.
Yeah, if I have to, I will. So getting that done. sent my mom off with her broken foot. She's back in Florida. And then I had a ton of stuff to do just around the house. We had to turn over our rental property for the new renters. Tons and tons of yard work. Got all that done at both this house and the rental property. And then for a lot of training with the puppy for lake life. So she's been doing some practice swims and some stand-up paddleboard rides, and we're getting her to love the lake. So that was good, especially today because it was 99 degrees here today, which is insane.
Is the water, how was the water? Is it
water's
still
fantastic?
Is it
it's
not
warm
too...
on like the first like 8 inches, and then
Mhm.
so if you get hot, you just like kick your feet down and just scoop up all this nice cold water. It's fantastic.
It never gets that hot up there, or not usually anyway.
No,
It's
this is
surprising.
a record.
Like, do you guys
breaking
even have
today.
AC up there? Like, I didn't.
I have a window unit, and just but maybe 12 days a year we'll use the AC here, maybe.
Right, at most.
So
And not usually this early, probably.
yeah. So, and then I ordered some car parts for the LS Camino. We're doing an engine refresh on that thing because it was pretty sure we've got some blow by, and it's tired. The engine's tired. So we're gonna do a tear down. So I tried to send Corey parts for this puppy, but apparently Michigan Speed Company will only ship to the billing address. They won't ship it otherwise because I'm
What?
guessing they got burned on some scammage a couple of times. So they sent me a note and said, "Hey, sorry, we can't do that. Got to send it to whoever the billing address is. Let me know if you want to cancel the order." So I was like, "Nah, just send it to my house. I'll figure out how to get it to him." So that was interesting. But all right, so a gasket kit for the LS motor, all the gaskets. Guess how much?
Well, what brand? Like, where'd you get it?
So I'll give you the exact information.
RAV4, Toyota RAV4. What? Okay, no, wrong game. Sorry.
Wrong guess. Wrong guess. So Michigan Motorsports, it is the LS gasket. So camshaft thrust retaining plate. For all like 6.2, LS1, LQ4, LQ9s, all those. The LS billet aluminum oil diverter barbell.
So this is extra stuff. This isn't just a gasket.
Right, this is the whole kit.
These are all the things that I bought. These are all the things that I bought. So you can guess both the total and that.
$400.
The LS $400 for which part?
The whole thing.
For the whole thing. All right.
I'm guessing it's not the whole thing if you went for which part.
I bet the gasket set is about $300.
Oh no.
And the total was $724.
Wrong.
Okay.
I'm gonna say $600 for the gasket. Total is $1,100.
Wrong.
I'm gonna say
100 and go ahead, Chrissy.
No, go ahead. 100 and what?
$199 for the gasket kit and $360.
Oh, that's not bad.
How about that?
I almost got I'm the closest, actually.
Yeah.
Go by Price is Right
It's
rules. You win.
I win.
Because Chris and I went over.
I was surprised how
Oh, you made it sound like
I don't want to say affordable it was, but it wasn't.
It was
wasn't like taking to the
affordable.
cleaners.
I don't think you can buy a Porsche shift knob for that kind of money.
Well, LS the world, baby. LS the world.
Well, especially at this price, you might as well.
Yeah. Just why not?
Well,
Get all the
you're
parts.
foolish not to.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to news and notes time.
Today in the headlines, trooper stops semi with cars strapped on top of a dump trailer, says it's fine. Caleb
fine.
Jacobs at the Drive tells us more. Any trucker will tell you if the DOT can find a reasons to write you a ticket, they will. And that's what makes this commercial vehicle stop in Arizona almost mind-boggling. Last Saturday, June 14th, the Arizona DOT can find, let's see, sorry. The Arizona Department of Public Safety trooper spotted a semi pulling a dump trailer through Phoenix with no taillights and 2 cars strapped on top of the dump trailer. Yeah.
Not cars. Like one is a
Oh, hold on.
Suburban.
Well, they tell you exactly what it
it's
is.
a
Hold on, hold
Suburban
on.
and a Lincoln. All right. Anyway, obviously concerned by what they saw, they phoned in a commercial vehicle inspector who deemed this setup legal, minus the taillights, and they seemingly sent the driver on their way. Inside, or rather on top of the dump trailer, was a Chevy Tahoe and a Lincoln MKT. Tough to tell from the pictures, but both vehicles had wooden blocks under their axles, and the Tahoe was missing its rear wheels, while the Lincoln was missing all 4. Taut chains and straps are visible in the dimly lit pictures, running through each car's undercarriage to keep them firmly fastened to the trailer. Not sure this can be considered safe, but we've seen sketchier stuff than this.
We've
Some
done sketchier
mental
stuff
done
than
sketchier
this.
stuff than this.
I'm pretty sure if we know anybody that has a trailer.
Yep. Sorry, Metzel. There's a little gap on that, and we lost half of it, but oh well. Anyway, we're gonna keep rolling.
Once again, wood. What can't it do? Well, hey, do you own a newish Volvo?
No.
Well, that's good, because if you did, you'd want to get your brakes looked at. Logan Carter at Jalopnik tells us that Volvo issued a recall for 14,014, maybe you should play that number, of its fully electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles on Monday because of very limited numbers. A limited set of circumstances may cause them to totally lose the ability to slow or stop. That's usually bad. The issue is attributed to a software problem within the vehicle's braking control module. This means that the potentially deadly malfunction is easily remedied by an over-the-air software upgrade for compatible models, which should make you feel much better. With B mode active on plug-in hybrids or the one-pedal mode on electric vehicles, braking functionality could potentially be affected after at least a minute and a half of coasting downhill without applying the brake pedal. Rather than reading "you are the list of cars," if you have a 2020 to 25 Volvo, check the website to see if yours is on the list. Volvo said the software remedy is available now via retailer workshops and has been rolled out via over-the-air update. We're asking customers who have not yet had the corrective software installed in their car to avoid selecting B mode or one pedal drive while driving into a brick wall mode.
Looking at you, Matt.
Don't do it. I mean,
Nope.
do it. Fix it.
Don't do it. At least it's not a dangerous item.
No.
No, it's fine.
Volvos are safe. It's fine.
They're fine.
You'll survive the crash at least.
Yeah.
So says the So says the trooper with the semi cars on top, or the semi that has cars on top. It's fine.
Yes. Now, we love ourselves a good car chase here at Everyone Racers, and a man in an allegedly stolen construction vehicle led police recently on an epic hour-long chase. How did he maintain the pursuit for that long? The top speed was 3 miles an hour. Beverly Braga over at the Autopian explains. According to the Associated Press, North Charleston Police Department responding to an unrelated call when they noticed a tractor excavator traveling across U.S. Highway 78. Not a strange sight during the day, but 3 a.m. Based on the police report, Associated Press said, quote, several cars immediately joined in the very slow speed pursuit. The excavator was going so slow.
How slow was it?
Oh,
The cruisers would have to
So
briefly
slow.
stop several times. Equipment.
So slow.
Yeah, they had their blue lights, they had their sirens. They told the excavator driver over the loudspeakers he was under arrest and needed to stop while other cruisers blocked traffic. This went on for exactly 1 hour and 12 minutes. Slow as molasses, lead follow ended after only the not so subtle heavy piece of equipment ran aground at the county fairgrounds. And that's when the suspect decided to make like the Flintstones and use his legs to get away. The chase continued via drone until a canine unit apprehended him. There's even more backstory to the guy who stole the excavator, where he got it in the first place. We've got the link in the show notes. That's just funny. There's even dash cam footage. Yeah, it's amazing. So
That's
there it goes.
fantastic.
He's getting away in an hour. Yeah.
In the middle of the street.
It reminds me of that scene in with
Austin Powers.
no. Well, do you have any idea how fast you're going? He's like, I don't know. This thing's pretty quick, officer. 7 miles an hour.
I feel like at one point, like someone gets out of their car, climbs up on the thing, like
Opens
open
the
up,
door,
open
throw
up,
him out.
Steve. I've got a gun. I'm gonna
Apparently
take-
not. Took you an hour to make that happen. So apparently not.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. What do we got? What kind of cars
So-
can we buy today?
Racing junk.
2.
Racing junk. Just so you know, it's still okay to joy scroll at racingjunk.com. It's the summertime,
Nice.
and I hope that you're all enjoying the summer activities in addition to wrenching on your crappy race car.
Like
Did you
Chrissy
know-
Chrissy did this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, in the sauna. But did you know that you can get all sorts of fun things on
What kind of
racingjunk.com?
fun things did you find?
So much.
Isn't just a place to like scratch that automotive itch. For example, here is a 1964 V-Drive boat with a
Wow.
511 cubic inch BBC, and that's big block Chevy for those of you that don't know what that means.
What a fun way to
Wow.
die.
While it makes
We love fun
7
ways to die.
it only makes 763 horsepower.
I bet
And
it's
there's-
faster than 3 miles an hour.
It's probably quicker than a slow speed car chase. It is
Wow.
nicknamed Problem Child. And there are only 2 pictures because they spent all of their money on gasoline and couldn't spring for the pro membership. Had they
Wow.
only known about
And
our discount
pinstriping.
deal,
But yeah, the pinstriping's pretty dope.
hand
Yeah.
pinstriping, it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous.
Fun ways to die
Uh,
is fun ways to die.
I do feel like that when you end up at the pearly gates, kind of soaking wet, holding a steering wheel and still wearing a life preserver. And St. Peter's like, so what happened? You just go, it was awesome.
you turn around and walk away, and there's a piston stuck in the back of your head.
Fun
Yeah.
ways to die.
It is cool looking though. But if you're not a boat person, then maybe you need like a new golf cart, but you want to do it with some pizzazz. I mean, you can't just show up with a basic vanilla cart alongside your $500,000 double stacker at the racetrack,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, I can't.
Well, here you go. This is a 2009 ACG California Roadster with a sick hand-painted flame job on it. It's got
Wow.
17-inch chrome wheels. It's got a proper rumble seat in the back. This is
Wow.
a one-owner toy. It is immaculate and absolutely the golf cart you need for your next trip
Oh,
to
and
the
they have
racetrack.
they have so many pictures. How many?
Wait a
pictures?
minute.
30
What
pictures?
does it say?
Did
on
you see the logo on the back?
Yeah.
Oh, Mental caught it. Mental caught it.
Boom.
What does it say?
Zoom in. Go ahead,
Look at
Mental.
that.
I can't.
That's
I can't.
dope.
It's an audio show, guys. What does it
Porsche.
say?
I'm sorry.
It says
It's got a Porsche emblem on the back of it, which is hilarious because it looks like a hot rod.
It,
Yes.
it doesn't look like a Porsche at all.
It's like a 32
Wow.
Ford grill on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see an old dude who's in a gated community that used to ride Harleys and loves his Harleys, but can't use his Harley in a gated community This would be great for
There's a
them.
Porsche badge on the radiator grill.
What
Thank
are they
you.
doing?
That's dumb.
Well, if you look into the background, he's got more than a few. And he's got some Ferraris, but
Yeah.
he's definitely a Porsche
Or
file.
it's
That's a
wherever.
356 right
Well, it
there.
depends on where they're
Yep.
selling it. It might not be this
Racing
person's.
junk. Duh.
Well, duh. Okay. All right. This is so much.
I understand
None of
what you were
us
saying,
can
Chrissy.
afford that and don't want it anyway.
Yep.
I mean, it's
less
amazing.
than $15,000.
It's great. Okay, let's move on to upcoming races time. We've got so much to talk about tonight, so we got to keep going.
This weekend, June 27th, 28th, it's a 7+8 race
Yay!
at VIR for Lucky Dog. Virginia is for Lucky Dog lovers. There are 68 cars. So there's going to be plenty of room at the 3.2 mile full course at VIR. 17 BMWs. Okay. 10 Miatas, 7 Hondas, 1 Porsche, 2 Mercurs, a Dodge Stratus, 3 Neons, a Volvo 740, a Maxima, 1 Mazda 3, and some other fun.
Yay!
That's actually a nice blend of boring cars.
Yeah, and then there's all kind of other
not
things
bad.
to be there.
That
All right,
is
this
not
weekend,
bad.
Champ is going to be at Sebring for a 14-hour race. There are 44 cars, 9 BMWs. That's not too bad. 13 Miatas, 2 Hondas, 2 Porsches, an Infiniti J30, a 2000 Ford Ranger, and nothing else interesting. Yep.
Ford Ranger.
I'm surprised you even pulled this because I decided that I didn't care. That's why I didn't pull it. But go ahead. We can.
Sorry, I'm counting up.
Oh, mental's
He's
counting up the
gigablasting.
AER
All right,
numbers.
so also AER at Summit Point this weekend. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't gigablasting. I was counting, which looks the same because my mouth is slightly agape and I don't move a lot. There are 42 cars.
Oh, that's gotta go in the notes.
Okay, good. I was gonna just put it there, but somebody else can. Okay.
All right, 42 cars,
Meh.
29 BMWs.
That's insane.
1, 2. I'm counting up the Miatas. 3,
No,
4.
it's fine. Don't worry about
5. It's 6 Miatas, a Mercedes. But this is actually kind of cool. There's a 1998 Chevy S10.
Wow.
Oh,
Great.
Great.
Look at you, little buddy.
Okay. Awesome. We don't have any recent results. We got none. We also don't have any listener feedback, so we're just gonna move on.
Lots of interaction though. People liking our stuff.
That's
They like the
fun.
one where Timmy was trying to get himself grounded by lipping off to his mom.
Who else has got nothing to say to us, even though she likes us?
Aw. You might not be wrong.
Yep.
Hi, Mom, who I think is behind on her shows because they haven't traveled much. They listen to it in the car, and maybe it'll be Christmas time by the catch up to this one, but that's okay. Okay, it's me talking time. As we alluded to, we're talking about VIR because we're going to VIR in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're recording this on a Tuesday. We are leaving on Thursday morning.
Thursday morning. Yep.
It is a Friday, Saturday event, which is different. There's no Sunday.
So
Caught Dean off guard.
Yeah.
Well, it's still catching us off guard because we're trying to plan, and I don't have 3 breakfasts like I normally do. We're trying to just organize ourselves with it's just not a normal weekend. And
Well,
so,
it's they probably sold Sunday to some local organization or to an OEM.
Or Thursday too, or who knows. But yeah, so it's different. But we're not allowed in the gates until 6:30 on Thursday night for this 2-day event. So it's definitely different than the longer Lemons Race weekends we're used to, without a doubt. But being done at 5 o'clock on Saturday, we'll be rolling 6-ish. So then we'll come home and we'll have Sunday to unpack, which that's okay. Actually, I don't mind
the hangover
that.
starts earlier, so that's
Yeah.
good. So then you don't have to just walk in on Monday and be dying. So.
Yep. But this is going to be in the Mazda. It's going to be me and Chrissy and Tim and Dean from Sorry for Party, and we're going to have a good old time.
Well, we're pitting with two other teams, or another team with two other cars. So
Yep.
yeah. So we'll
Darren's Southern team. They call them Black Magic Racing, and My Little Neon. They're running. We're going to be sharing with them, which is great to have some friends there. There are some other Lemons folks that we know that are going to be there, like Cheese Bolt and Baltimoreans, and probably some others. So
we'll
it's
see you
going to be
there.
a good time.
It's kind of like a
Can't
mini.
wait.
It's kind of a mini Lemons group. It'll be fun. Okay, let's talk about this. What?
It's just lemon zest. It's not the whole lemon.
Yeah, correct. Lemon zest. I like that.
There's some zest, yes.
Here are some rules that you need to know. Hopefully you've already read these rules if you're actually coming to this race. VIR demands no two-piece fire suits. That's an interesting one. I'm surprised that more people don't have that rule. But anyway, they have this rule. Here's a dumb rule because VIR likes to steal your money. You have to pay $30 to register with quotes non-street legal motorized pit vehicles. So if we have a Scooty, it has a registration, did not need to pay. If you have a moto, you have to pay because moto is not street legal, and that's dumb. So no moto.
What?
Moto is staying in the living room where it is right now. No scooters without seats. No Stetton and Exploded is really what they're trying to make sure that you're not doing.
The stand-up scooters. There's several tracks that don't like those because
because they're death traps.
Because they make people like Chris really, really nervous.
After having almost fallen off them a number of times,
or your wife literally almost scraping her face from almost falling down.
Yep, you had to bail, and it was just we'll take really big steps.
And
really big
steps.
It was
a construction site. It was fun.
It was
or going down the hill at the sinkhole at NCM.
I had the death wobble on a shitty scooter, and I ran as fast as the scooter was going down the hill. So it's
took
fine.
Really big steps, like
I
long
did not fall down.
Fastest I've ever run in my life.
Kind of, because I knew either that or it was going to catch my face with the sidewalk. And I was sober, so can you imagine having those around not sober? Okay, supposed limit on outside fuel to 20 gallons. Is that real?
You're gonna manage that.
Well, I did notice a thing today reading their actual website rules. It says no limit for fuel grades that we don't sell. So fortunately, the Mazda runs on regular, and they don't sell regular. So that's going to be. They want to check.
They meant the other way, right?
Exactly.
They meant like
loophole engaged.
Exactly.
And well, how are they going to know though? That's the problem.
Exactly. They're not. I'm going to say, look at it. It's a Mazda. It's a base engine.
Why am I putting
that engine is from a 2017 Ford Escape base model. It runs on regular. That's what we run. You don't sell regular.
In this E85? No, just 85.
And lastly, VIR seems to be very protective and has lots of fees. They want to nickel and dime us. I don't
know if that's VIR as much as just the mentality. Our friend Eric lives in Virginia, and on our private communications, I mock him incessantly about how many taxes and fees and things.
This one seems to be like NGM was getting because we have a whole text line with all of these groups of people, and everybody's talking about the camping. Are you really camping? Is your head actually going to be on the ground? Because then you need to pay us $50. And you're just like, no, like that's how serious it's getting. Is that they're back?
Otherwise,
and forth
you have to have a licensed, permitted pillow.
Something like that. Yes. And they basically, like, if you're staying on site, you have to make sure that your bed is somewhere that somebody's paying for that. So we'll see how it goes.
Lucky Dog typically does a catered dinner.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
On end of day one, and it's $25 a person. So like we'd signed up for that. So well, that sounds fair. Let's do that. Then VIR said, yeah, no, you have to use our in-house or our attached catering company, and for that barbecue and coleslaw and cornbread dinner, that's going to be $60 each. And so they sent it out to all the teams to say, do you want to do that, or should we just have a happy hour and whatnot instead? And the vote was pretty clear that it was, let's have a happy hour and not pay $60 each for a plate of barbecue.
Yeah,
sounds like you guys are going to Aunt Millie's Pizza there just up the road.
No, we're bringing delicious food to cook in the paddock.
And
We're
there's
good.
only a couple of us that we're eating fancy. So that's what's going to be fun. Nope, we've got a plan. Okay. Tell us about
Yeah.
what
So-
else we need to know.
So these are things that are different than what we're used to. Chrissy talked about the VIR specific ones. I've got some Lucky Dog specific ones here, and Tim's got a big one too. That's gonna be new for us. So Lucky Dog has limits on shift length. Normally it's 2 hours, but because of the heat, it's going to be 90 something degrees during this race. They are limiting maximum shift length to 1 hour. I'm barely warmed up at 1 hour.
That's
So
a weird
this is
one.
going to be a little strange for us, but we have to stop every hour. So with a 7 hour day and an 8 hour day, and we have 4 drivers, I think we're just dividing the day by 8. So the 7 hour day, we're going to do like 48-minute stints or whatever it is. And there we go. Then
Well,
we're done.
and when it's hot, I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's and we're not trying
Great.
to win anything. So we
No,
drive
we're definitely
until-
not. But
No.
So
Anyway.
so we don't even need to fuel at that point. We could just
No.
do a driver swap.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it's 52-minute stints, and we'll just come in, swap drivers, go back out, and then like every other. And because we have to fuel every 2 hours, we're not even going to like do full tanks of gas in the car. We don't even need to. We'll put in like 1 can one time and 2 cans the next time, and just like keep some gas in the car, and that's it. It's going to be different. So yeah, the minimum pit stop time is 5 minutes when you're fueling. They put a timer on the car, on the roof. You have to when you come into pits, you have to stop at pit in with all your stuff and gears and belts and still on. They stick a timer on it, and then you do all your things, and then when you leave and get to the pit out person, they take your timer and it has to be 5 minutes or more. So that's a little different. We have to have a window net. We'd already talked about that. That's in. There are proprietary number panels. Tim talked about that. He had them made. They used to give them away. Now they don't, which is fine if you run them regularly. But when you run once and that's it, it's kind of annoying. I'd like this. They have a partial pre-tech online form that you fill out, and you take pictures of the dates of your belts and the dates of your window net and the dates on your fire system and all those kind of things. So that's kind of nice. They say that helps speed up their tech, which is good. And that tech is going to be the night before race day 1. It's going to be Thursday night. They're trying to get all the cars teched between 7 and 9 p.m. This is going to be tough, but there's only 73 cars, but still, that's a lot going on.
It's a lot in 2 hours.
Yep. There are hot pits. People, basically, you get a spot in the hot pits, like along the wall, and you get a spot there, and you share it with somebody. In this case, we're sharing it with a team that is not going to be there in our stall, so it's just going to be us. But that's it. You have an assignment. We're in spot number 20. I bought an extra easy up so that we have one for there because the shade is going to be important. So that's totally different. I'm not used to hanging out down there at all. But I suppose if we're changing drivers every hour, we're going to need to be. We're going to be there.
We're going to be there a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to be there a lot.
Yep. We've got a 90-minute quali and practice session on race day 1 because they always do quality to figure out classes. They have A, B, and C and Super Dog. But because there's no VIR track day on Wednesday, they're doing a little longer than usual. So 90 minutes to get all of us out there. I think that especially VIR, they're not doing the track day because it was going to be $645 a car. So I bet not a lot of people signed up for that. So yeah.
That's not a session. That's a race weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was test day was $645.
I think this
per
is
car.
why Chris is saying that they are really want our money.
VIR is very proud of their facility. I'll put it that way.
Oof.
So this is different for us. There's a double file rolling start with a pace car.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just going to camp out near the back of that, let shenanigans
Yeah.
happen. And that's fine.
Or like go out later.
Afterwards.
Like go out 2 minutes after the green. I was
Yep.
thinking about starting, but I don't know that I'm interested in doing a
Didn't you
rolling
guys
start
do a
with
NASA school a couple years ago where you practiced all that stuff and then
Yeah,
you
but
had
I'm
a car
not-
actually lock up?
Well,
and-
NASA tries
I
to
did,
not like hit each other. This is a race that people think they're going to win. and I don't know those people. So
Yeah, we don't know who is the
I did not
Floodstang
find a
and-
lot of aggro in my Lucky Dog experiences.
Well, this is
but
in Mid Atlantic. We've never run with most of these people before, so we have no idea.
Fair.
Kathy does
and
try to keep a limit on that kind of thing and says no contact and all that stuff, but you never know. You get some aggro douche in a
us and
BMW.
Cheese Bolt, we're just gonna hang out at the back and just be
Totally.
like,
Yeah.
hi,
Hi,
friend,
everybody.
don't hit me.
Huh? Yeah. You must use Hankook RS4s that are bought through Lucky Dog and bought from Hankook, and they have a Lucky Dog label on them, which I have no problem with because that's what we use anyway. And I was able to buy 2 sets at a very nice discount, so that's great. I've got an extra set after this. Fantastic. And also, you can only have one fuel jug over the wall at a time. So, like a lot of times, we'll have the person fueling it, and then the person getting ready to help them. They'll get the next jug and get it ready to go for the next one. Nope, one jug over the wall at a time. So we just have to be a little careful of that. But with 5 minutes to put 2 jugs in the car, like
And not winning, that's fine.
Right.
WRL does a similar thing. One fuel jug over the wall, but they don't have any limits on. And it when it goes over the wall, it has to go over at the orientation. You can't like. So if you're holding it upside down, it has to come over the wall upside down. But they use dry brakes.
Weird. Okay. Well, without dry brakes, we can't hand it over upside down.
That would not go well.
Make a mess.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna make a mess anyway. Let's not make a mess to start out.
I got my wrist slapped at New Jersey in the Lemons race for 2 jugs over the wall.
I
was like,
yeah, they were a little more strict. I noticed that as well. Or they were too far away but eyeing me. So I didn't, the next time I went out, I did not do that. So yeah, I noticed that.
You look like trouble though. Like someone sees you at a racetrack and they're like, that one's going to give us problems. Keep an eye on that one.
That's because I rode a pony out in a pit race. Took my pony everywhere.
Flammable pony. All right. Well, they are operating under code 35. So when race control needs to dispatch any emergency vehicles, drivers will see all corner stations display yellow flag and a purple flag with a white number 35 on it. The code 35 flag may be used in lieu of putting out a safety car and allow the emergency vehicles to rapidly respond. All drivers must stop racing. Don't stop your vehicle. Just do not pass other cars on track. Safely reduce their speed to about 35 miles an hour or less. Maintain your separation from the car in front of you, and then follow the directions of the corner marshals. You have to yield the racing surface to all emergency vehicles. That means get the heck out of the way, all the way over to whatever side they aren't on. Once they go to restart, which is the conclusion of the code 35 incident, and resume racing, drivers will see a yellow and purple 35 flags replaced with a waving green flag at all stations. Pit lane will be closed while code 35 is in action.
Is this any time emergency vehicle goes out?
Yes, they do not do hot pulls. That's what I understand.
Yeah. I actually think they did this because not so long ago, a race car hit a EV vehicle in Lucky Dog. I'm almost positive of it. And so I think they took, this is extreme precaution, but I think it's because of something that happened before.
This is why I posted it there so that Tim could read it and Chrissy could listen to it so that you know what you're going to have to deal with this weekend.
Okay.
I'm surprised. Are they not running Flagtronics or anything stupid like that?
Nope. None of those stupid things.
They don't do that anymore. Yeah.
No.
They don't work very well.
I think AER is the only one that does.
Yeah. And it can be done well, but the track operators have to know how to use it, and a lot of them just don't.
Well, even the systems itself. We were testing one for Lemons at Pit Race, and we had 2 of them literally next to each other, and they were saying different things.
Whoopsie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, so we've got the nuances of what's going to happen with regards to Lucky Dog. But if you do not know, Virginia International Raceway lost to and brought back to life in 2000. There's actually a great video where you can find as they rediscovered that track. Today it is known as a world-class facility and track with many driving challenges. Elevation changes, several sets of connected corners that set it apart from other tracks like Watkins Glen, which is similar in length. Unfortunately, the signature oak tree no longer exists. But Corner 12 is still known as Oak Tree, and elevation changes connected to the corners affect the line at all those corners. It is, and we've had this conversation, it's historic and it feels historic. No one woods, and that is what's great about it. You will absolutely, if you have the opportunity to go to VIR, you will enjoy driving the track. It's fast. Nearby, on site, of course, you have the Oak Tree Tavern and Connie's Pub there on the grounds at VIR, along with the villas and everything like that. But the nearest food you're going to find nearby is in Milton, North Carolina, and that's Aunt Millie's Pizza. And it's a tiny little town full of antique stores and one pizza place that keeps some odd hours. Your nearest gas is in Ringgold, which is about 15 minutes away. You're going to have to drive into North Carolina and then back into $4 for premium. But of course, Chris isn't bringing premium because that Mazda runs on 85.
No.
And
87.
that's 87. And that's actually it's less than $3 according to Gas Buddy that I was looking at for that. Your nearest auto parts store, 20 minutes away in Danville. And that is also the nearest Walmart, which is about 30 minutes away. So you are out there. It is lovely country. You're going to melt because it's summertime in the South and it's going to be hot and humid, but it is pretty. And in a few minutes, we are going to do our best version of the track walk. There are people that know VIR better, but there are not people that know how to explain it on a podcast better than us. So I stand by this.
That's a bold statement considering it's been several years since I drove it and I don't know. And it was in
And-
one HP.
And, or the
it's-
sim. Yeah.
It's 2015 I think 2015 was the last time I drove it on a true 24 pouring down rain. I actually still enjoyed it. It's a great time.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to pull heavily from a turn-by-turn done on paddock-pal.com that is pretty darn good here. I like this.
It seemed pretty reasonable. I was scrolling through a bunch of them last night, and there's one that we found that was very, very thorough. Not gonna read thorough, but
If you scroll down and click on the turn-by-turn section, that opens up a very nice detailed analysis of each turn, including like showing lines and applying power and stuff like that. So let's kind of work our way through it. So turn one is after not the longest straight, but the second longest straight along the pits there. There's a kind of a gentle kink in the straight. You're going to have heavy braking for turn one, which is a fairly tight 180 or a little more than 180. So, but if you do all your braking on the early side, you can actually power your way through it because it opens up a little bit as you go through the corner.
If I recall correctly, slightly off camber too. Very easy to go off here. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess the principles are a late apex line, or you can trail brake a little bit on your way in too, depending on how fast you're going. So, but yeah.
Oh,
great
there
picture
you go.
right there. Yep. That's the high horsepower line. We don't have that. So it's this guy saying lower power cars may find trail braking the fastest. I can see that going because you turn in hard and then you ease your way through the corner, but you can power out fairly well. But there's not a lot of straight on the way after turn one. So I think, do the best you can with your entry speed. Keep your speed up around it without pushing too wide, because a lot of people end up tracking out too early here because they apex too early. So then you have a little gentle straight before you come up to turn two. Turn two is it'll it kind of is a straight, frankly, turn 2 and into turn 3. You're going to kind of stay on the power through those, at least through into turn 2. Turn 3, uh, you're turning now back to the left as you come up to turn 4, which is the hard left.
I need
This
a
is right
track
at the
map. Where the heck
concession
am I? Don't even
stands.
know where I am.
You
Turn
can open
3.
up the track map on your own. Turn
I
4 is the
am.
hard left, right by the concession stands, and you can see the red barns when you're out there. So after you come into turn 3, you almost kind of V the corner out. You take your apex, but you do track all the way out for turn 4 as you brake coming in to turn 4. Yep. Turn 5 is shortly after turn 4. Turn 5 and 5A, it's a very hard left, followed by a slightly less hard right. So you end up braking hard for the left, ease off, work your way out of the power for the way to the right, I think. This is called the snake. I've never found this corner to be very appealing. There's a lot of better corners on this track in my mind. So
It's a lot of people are going to try to take it fast, and it's really just every racetrack has a turn that the name could be patience. This sequence is one of them. Just,
yeah, just wait.
I hate the term throwaway, but just chill, get through this
Transitional
bit.
corner. It's a transitional corner mental. There you go.
That's a good
That's
one.
a,
Yes,
yep.
that just chill, and you'll see people. They'll go in there and they'll overcook it, and then you'll be right on them as you chill.
Yep. Now turns 6 and 6A are kind of a little like wiggle right left as you're after you come out, and you know a lot of cars can take that with all the power. Figure out your line, make sure
I'm
you don't
betting
get
you can
behind
as
it.
well.
Probably. Yep. So if you have a smaller car and not a lot of power, you can take it full. I think you might have to bump the curbs a little bit as you're going through. Don't do it too much, but you know, find your way to make sure you don't get behind on these corners. That's the key. And then coming up, going into the climbing S's, which is a really fun set of corners on VIR.
This
It's
is
7, 8,
under a
9.
bridge?
Nope.
Is there no
This
bridge?
is just going up.
No,
there is
Yeah,
a
no.
bridge.
You do go under the Paddock Lane Bridge before you get into the 7,
It's
8,
before
9.
the corners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Yep.
straight coming up to it. Yep.
Okay.
So these are really fun. You get some good speed. And if your car is good in transitions, you can do pretty well here, depending on how it is in transition, how fast you're going. But it's just kind of a wiggle, right, left, right. I think it's right, left, right. Yeah, as you're going up the hill. So it's really fun, and they get a little harder as you go. So that makes it more
Yes.
interesting. Yep. 10 is called South Bend. This is a corner that I think is very deceptive, and you can do it very poorly. And if you do it poorly, you're going to go off on the outside of 10, which means you go down this hill. I did that all the time in iRacing. I'll say that. This track walk is saying the keys to 10 are car positioning on entry and vision, which yes, I agree. You need to look all the way through 10 because it's deceptive, and the apex is not where it looks like it's gonna be. So just keep looking for the apex on the left. As soon as it appears in your line of sight, right around turn in, you're in good shape. And then look out for track out. But late apex this, I would argue, because the consequences for going off are not good. So, yep. Turn 11 is at the kind of the pointy end down by Oak Tree. It's the turner before Oak Tree. It's another transitional corner. You're coming out of 10 into 11 with some good speed and about to take Oak Tree, which is the corner before the longest straight. So I used to kind of use 11 as a kind of extension of the braking zone of that corner. You just come into it, brake in a straight line-ish as you hit the apex in 11 and come all the way out to driver's left to set yourself up to get on the gas early to power through 12, through Oak Tree. Yeah, okay. What they're drawing is basically what I used to do. So cut 11 a bit to set yourself up to be all the way in driver's left and then look your way through 12 so that the earlier you get in the power, the better, because you're going to carry that power for a long, long, long time.
This is back straight away at Road Atlanta. Take a selfie, text your mom hello, get
Yeah.
some reading done, grab a nap,
Yeah.
straight away.
And this is also a great, watch your mirrors coming into here, because you want to see who is going to be passing you down the straight coming up.
Good
And then you
advice.
got a long straight. I was in a HPDE 2 students Corvette Z06 on Hoosiers, and we were going 155 miles an hour into the braking zone at the end of this corner. Yeah.
This track is showing a kink. Is there one? A chicane?
In the straight?
Well, are we running? I don't think we
No,
ran
we're
the
not going to run this.
chicane.
We're not going to run the
Okay.
chicane.
Let's
I think
see.
that they use that for
It's a
motorcycles. It's halfway down. It's a
14?
little tiny gray spot in the middle.
That's fine. On that track map, it says Madison
Yeah.
Avenue. There's the chicane, so
Yeah.
that's okay. Yep, I
No,
figured
because
not.
you go down a hill and then back up a hill, and yeah, it's
Yeah, in technically, I guess there's a 13, which is like a. It's
I think
not
I remember
really
the neon. I was
there's no
driving. I started
turn.
running out of motor. Yeah.
Okay,
There's
yep, that's
no
fine.
real turn there. It's just getting ready for 14. X 14, you're going to be going.
Whatever you're in, you're at the top speed. You are at terminal velocity coming into 14.
Practically, yeah. So now you're going to brake really hard for 14, which is a left. This says it's a right-hander cresting a hill. Yeah, it is a right-hander. Yes. Duh.
Mhm.
Yep.
13 is
Which-
kind of that little.
You go, yeah, right. You
little-
go to the
little,
left a little, and
That's
then you go up the hill. Or
So
up, yeah.
14, yeah, you should be able to carry some of your braking into 14, because you've been going pretty fast and you got a lot of braking to do and you got a lot of speed to carry. So if you can carry that a little bit longer, that'd be great, because you go into 14, you take that right over the crest of the hill, and then you continue to go down the hill through 15, 16, and 17.
I will say, if there is any precipitation, there is no traction at the top of 14. None.
Oh, I'm sure with all the rubber that's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just go slow. You will see people go sailing right off of it.
Yep. So 15 is the left after 14. If you don't have a lot of power, you should be able to get some power down in this corner, which is nice. 16 is the beginning of hog pen, which is kind of slow because you have to set up for the hard right that's going to be down at the bottom of the hill in hog pen. So yeah, you keep kind of after 15, you kind of keep going to the left to brake for 17, which is hog pen, which is kind of like the bottom of a bowl, but it's pretty tight. I remember having to take it slower than I expected. But so you want to do your braking a little on the early side so you can have power out of 17 onto that next straight, from what I recall.
And then go down the straight.
Yep. So not as good as our usual track walks because we don't know it as well. So we're going to find out.
No.
I don't know it at all.
Yeah.
I think I need to watch some video because
I started watching the videos.
I remember some parts of it. I really do. I 6, 7, or 7, 8, 9. I remember the oak tree. I remember the roller coaster, but I didn't remember the 1, 2, 3, 5 section. So
I remember
yeah.
3 because I had a student that just could not get that right. And I was having a hard time getting it because it wasn't like a traditional line. I was trying to have him kind of V the corner a little bit. It's just to brake appropriately, and he was having struggles with it.
I remember being terrified on the front straight when this is at the time when the Civic was doing weird things, and you'd just be going down the straight and it would just not go down the straight. It would jut off to the side and you'd be like, why did it do that? So
yeah. And now for those watching on YouTube, here is a picture of hog pen. What's interesting is you actually have decent visibility. You can see everything as you're coming down in there, but because it's this kind of gentle rolling, you've got grass on your right and then downhill on your left, it is hard to kind of build the visual references that you're looking for the off track stuff. But as you start to exit, you can find everything that's along, you start visually seeing the stuff along the start finish line in pit row, which is right there on that front straightaway. And so we
pit in and pit out, pretty evident.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It is the front straight. You'll exit obviously before start finish. And I think you enter on after start finish, and you'll see all the garages and the red barn and all that other kind of stuff. What I took from VIR, and Chris, you were on it a lot more recently than I was, but it's rhythm. It reminds me, your approach to it is a lot like barber. There's no point where you feel behind if you're looking ahead and doing everything you're supposed to do, but you also kind of don't ever get a break. There's no, except for the long straightaway where you're into the next section, and it's very much a dance track.
Mm-hmm. And if your car is not good at
Yes.
transitions, rapid transitions, left, right, left, you're going to struggle a lot because there's a lot of those going on.
Especially like going up 7 and 8. And if your car's not good at left, right, left transitions, you're kind of going to hate it, because like
Yeah.
the 3 charging up the hill is going to be glorious. That is just going to be like, oh, I have the best life. Yeah.
Here's one trick for the left, right, left transitions, though. Try to make each consecutive corner a little harder than the one before, because it helps with the weight transition and helps keep the car from kicking on oversteer. Well, actually, no, sorry, it's the other way around. Sorry. The earliest corners I want to do harder and then gradually ease, because every time you kick, you make another turn, you're not only having your turning change your weight, but you're also having a kick from the suspension. So the springs are unloading. That's kicking the car in addition to your turning. So turn in hardest early if you can, and have less hard transitions later if possible. Sorry, I had that backwards at first.
Yeah. So remember, much like Tim's prom night, go hard early.
I have a confession.
Oh no.
Yeah. This will be my first race in a front wheel drive vehicle.
You
Oh,
chose
it's
the
easy.
right one. You chose the perfect car to drive your
I've
front.
driven on track before in a front wheel drive vehicle. This will be my first race in a front wheel drive vehicle.
This is the easiest car you've ever driven.
The hardest part was at New Hampshire years ago, is Chris yelling at me on the radio, use the ABS, because I'm still trying to stay out of the ABS. He's like, no, just stay in the gas, wait till everybody else brakes, check your watch, then brake, outbrake everyone, make the corner. It is such a lovely vehicle. And then the other thing that I got wrong in that is because it was a little chilly that morning, I left the heater on, and Chrissy got in the car. She's like, why is it hot in here? Oh, that's right. This
Oh my
car's
God.
comfortable.
I was dying. I think that was a yellows. And then I think I brought it in. I think it was maybe I finished on Saturday. And it was like, why? It is so freaking hot in here. Yeah. You left the heat on.
We're not going to worry about that this weekend. That's for sure.
We will make sure that is not on.
Going on.
That's
Just put on the AC. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
And AccuWeather says Thursday we have temperatures.
Hey, wait, hang on. I've got to highlight this while you're.
While he's gigablasting.
Wow, it's
There we go.
gigablasting.
Sit there on Tim. Exactly.
We have strong heat pushing in. It's going to be a high of 95 on Thursday. We've scattered thunderstorms in the evening and then partly cloudy overnight. Storms may contain gusty winds, so keep those pop-ups on the ground.
Cute.
Friday, we have mostly sunny early with scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day, high of 92. Winds will be light and variable, chance of rain, 50%.
Ooh.
That evening, skies will have scattered thunderstorms before midnight. Lows will be around 70. Chance of rain 50%. And it will be a temperate morning on Saturday with partly cloudy skies, light and variable winds, getting up to 92 degrees with only a 20% chance of rain on Saturday. So it'll be a lovely pack out but a possibly wet day on Friday.
Great.
Oh, okay. Thanks, AccuTim.
It's gonna rain.
It might sometimes.
And party. Yeah.
Who wants his dog?
gonna be wet like me.
Oh, yeah.
Tim needs a mop and a bucket. Yeah. All right. We're going to have a good time. I have no doubt if we survive.
For
It'll be
sure.
great.
And that's going to
Well,
lead us to, this is the first time in a while, we're going to have, come on,
Who's what? What?
come on.
What is
What do
it?
we do for safety things?
Oh,
Oh,
it's time
Safety
for
thing.
just the
Oh, I hope
It's going
everybody's
to be really hot. So I looked up what National Weather Service says about heat
Being
injuries,
hot.
right? So heat cramps. Heat cramps may be the first sign of heat-related illness and may lead to heat exhaustion or stroke. Symptoms: painful muscle cramps and spasms, usually in legs and abdomen. Heavy sweating. First aid is apply firm pressure or cramping muscles and gently massage to relieve spasm. Give sips of water until the person complains of nausea, then stop giving water. Mental.
We had at Thunderhill a driver come into penalty and they said, I went to apply the brakes and I got a leg cramp. And that's why I went off the track. And Tom Webb said, congratulations. You've just earned a chance to get out of the car and have a bottle of water.
Yep.
Hey, where do you sign up for the gentle massages?
VIR won't let you
on it.
bring them in. You have to use their on-site one, and it's $900 an hour.
and his
But
name
worth
is
it.
and his name is Bubba, and he's the same guy that makes the barbecue.
Yep.
But worth it.
He's got strong hands.
Yep. Next up, heat exhaustion. Symptoms: heavy sweating, weakness or tiredness, cool, pale, or clammy skin, weak pulse, muscle cramps, dizziness, nausea or vomiting, headache, and fainting. I've had this. It sucks. First aid: you move the person to a cooler environment, preferably a well air-conditioned room. Loosen clothing, apply cool, wet cloths, or have a person sit in a cool bath. Offer sips of water. Yes, and we
Call
brought
the paramedics.
cooling cloths. Yes.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Yep. And last up, heat stroke. Symptoms are throbbing headache, confusion, slurred speech, nausea, dizziness, body temperature above 103, red, hot, dry, and damp skin, rapid and strong pulse, fainting, and loss of consciousness. I'm pretty sure we've seen this at a race or two. Like, people get out of the car and just basically fall over and can't do anything. So first aid is call 911 or go to the hospital. It is a medical emergency, can be fatal. Move to a cooler air-conditioned room, reduce body temperature with cool cloths or baths, use fan. If the heat index temperatures are below the high 90s, fan can make you hotter at high temperatures.
Yes.
Do not give fluids. Interestingly, you got to cool them off first, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I like water.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cold water
But
on your
because
head.
you like water, you won't end up in this condition.
I hope not. Ideal.
So be careful out there.
And that's not just for racing. All right. If you've paid attention to the news, the entire country is swathed in a heat wave right now. So take care of yourself. Get in some shade, drink some water,
Yeah.
Jump in the
put some
lake.
sunscreen on,
Jump in a lake.
Mhm.
jump in a lake.
We totally
right,
did
well-
that on Sunday when we were out in the boat. We're like, it's hot. I'm jumping in this lake.
Pretty much.
Yes. Do it.
Okay. Well, we'll see some of you at the track. Anything else? Anything? We'll probably do a hangover show next week. Probably.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah. I might be on it and try to post some stuff. So check out the socials.
Oh, good. Unlike we missed the boat on at New Jersey.
Tim
I was
didn't.
I was unsure as to how many things were appropriate to post at New
Oh,
Jersey.
that's
This
very
is going to
nice of
be a
you.
different weekend.
That's very nice of you.
What?
Also-
It's stacks being fed through a hole in the wall.
Hear us out.
It's a good idea.
Where are you going?
Ain't no reason you wouldn't want it. Yep.
Yes.
And
We'll do better.
Speaking of snacks being fed through a hole,
Yes.
by the time everyone hears it, it's like 5 days late. But it was, in fact, the Everything Bagels birthday this past Sunday.
Yeah.
Nudes for Rude. And I happened to be out last night and found a place called Hot Nudes. So I did send him a picture.
Sure, he loved that.
One of my favorite was somebody posted. It said, "I'm sorry, but I'm sending you an unsolicited dick pic," and it was a picture of Dick Van Dyke with a cane. It was great.
There it is.
It's like only old people like me will understand what that is.
So happy birthday to our fifth host and Everything Bagel, Eric Rude.
Happy birthday, Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, we're sharing that one.
Okay.
How hot is it?
Oh, okay.
It's that hot.
Okay.
It's this hot. That's
Sweaty.
Excellent.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweaty,
Oh,
sweaty hot.
goodness.
Yep.
YouTube
right.
special.
Okay. All right. We're done with the show.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
gone. We've
Sure,
gone
why not?
awry. We've gone awry.
We've got heat stroke.
See you
Oh,
next time,
gosh.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text us at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, or even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless, like us, there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels down.